Hello everyone, welcome to Data Geek powered by Code Elephant. In this series of video, I'll be explaining you what is data and how the data science machine learning AI works. Okay, so if you go to the LinkedIn profile currently and LinkedIn job portal or any other job portal or any other learning portal, you will be finding multiple terminology are there. Somebody is talking about data science, somebody is talking about machine learning, somebody is talking about AI, somebody is talking about data analytics. But there are no particular way that how we should start as a beginner and what will be my journey. So in this first video, I'll be explaining you all the terminology. So what you need to learn, what will be your job role, what is your interest area, that first you need to figure it out. After that, you will need to start learning on that. So I'll be giving you from beginners to advanced level, whatever the things are there in the data science or there in the AI or there in the machine learning. Don't worry about the terms. I'll explain each and every term from the very beginning. Okay, so without further delay, let's get started. Please do subscribe and like so that I can make this kind of content more. Okay, so first of all, to understand the data science, data analytics or anything, first we need to understand the data. So if you see the data, what is data? So data is basically any information available in the market currently. So it can be your email, it can be your name, anything available digitally is called data. Now email, name, medical, it can be your medical report, it can be a financial report of a company, it can be an image, it can be a PDF, it can be a document. Anything, any piece of information is available in the market, it's called data. So there are much more size is there are bigger size data are there. Data, actually the internet is filled with data. But if you see properly on a high level, we can actually categorize data into three different types. First thing is called the structured data. That is a structure. Okay, what is the structured data? Structured data is something that we can represent in a tabular manner. Okay, this is the older form of data. When we started our journey in the internet, when we started acquiring data, we only supported structured data. Let's give you an example. Suppose a school database. A school database is actually saving the information about the school students. Now, if each and every student will have a same kind of information, like every student will have a name, every student will have an email, and every student will have a phone number and his details. So now if the student ones are having three information, student two must be having three information. That is actually a structured database. You can actually define the structured database in a row column architecture. So definitely there will be three column and multiple row depending on how many data you are actually saving. Now gradually this procedural thing become difficult because we have multiple types of data. That's why the semi-structured data comes into the picture. So basically this is semi-structure. Semi-structured data are actually imagined as a JSON data. Now again a new term. If you are a very beginner, JSON term can be new for you, but don't worry, in gradually I will explain what is JSON. Okay, now what is basically your semi-structured data? Basically you know that there can be a same type of data, same kind of data, but they do not have the same kind of structure. Let's consider the Facebook leads. Suppose if you are roaming around Facebook, there are multiple forms are coming and you are actually filling up the form. Now imagine a building website or a builder's website. They only need the user interest about the building, what their budget, and maybe the area where they want their property. So they will collect this kind of information. Now somebody is selling some courses. Now they will be capturing the student interest, student higher qualification, what are the things we want to learn, this kind of thing. Both of them are actually capturing user information, but both of them are having their different kind of requirement. So Facebook is not going to store all the data in the different places. So he will create a semi-structured data system where he will dump all kind of data. So semi-structured data must be having two things, a key and a value. So basically that is a key value. That means if I give you an example of the data, suppose builders is saving the data. So how the builder will shape the data? Builder will need the area. Suppose this is the area name, it's, let's say it's a white field. So area is white field. Now they will ask for the budget. So suppose this user is having budget of 1 crore. So this is one data which is actually responsible for builder. Now I am someone who is selling the courses. I want student to enroll in my courses, or I want to capture the interest of student. How do I do that? I'll be capturing the student's education. Let's say this is the student education. This is my key, and on that key I'll be capturing student education. Let's say it's BSc. Okay, and student interest. Let's say it's a data science, his interest. So they are having both different kind of key value pair, but they are all actually doing the same thing. They are actually leads. One lead is actually applicable for me, another lead can be applicable for a property owner, okay, or a builder who is building it. Okay, so this is how the semi-structured data look like. We'll do more about semi-structured data, and we'll understand why semi-structured data is needed and how to do that. That will be having a complete separate video on that, but this is the introduction of your semi-structured data. And other than these two, there are unstructured data. What is unstructured? Which is not having a structure. Now how do I know that it's unstructured? What kind of data will not have a structure? Any kind of file available in the market, whether it can be a PNG, whether it can be a PDF, whether it can be a video file, whether it can be a MP4 file, a audio file, anything in the market is actually, any file available in the web is actually unstructured data. Why? There are no way I can represent that data in a tabular manner, and there are no way I can represent the data in a key value pair, because every one will come is a completely different set of data, different type of data. So that is basically your unstructured data. So this is pretty much what are the data available. Yeah. Now if you go with a very low level, you may find more types are there. But if you think about a very high level, there are 3 kind of data. Now these are the data. Now to work with data science, you need to have this data to yourself, right? These data are available in the market. These data are available in the internet, but you don't have the data. For that, what you need to do, you need to collect the data. So the next part is basically called the data collection. So next part of the segment is called data collection. Now how do we collect the data? There are also various technique. There are n number of tricks to collect the data. Some of the specific thing I'm mentioning here, let's say if you are familiar with scraping. Scraping means if you have a website, whatever the content of the website, you will be creating a crawler, and this crawler will go to the website and fetch all the text information from the website, all the image from the website. That is a scraping. Okay, basically if you think about why the scraping is used more, if now everyone is actually familiar with ChatGPT. To build ChatGPT, they needed billions or millions of data. Okay, how do they get the data? They actually did the scraping. So they have used advanced web scraping to scrap entire web to get a huge amount of data. After that, they worked with their product. Okay, so that's a scraping. Again, you can have offline data. You can have someone to go, and if you see in older area or in old time, there are someone used to come to your house and they used to ask survey questions. Like one of the most important thing I saw that, okay, some person from government comes to calculate and us to ask you what is the, or how are the family member are there. When some disease outbreak happens, some government also sends one to your home to understand what are the disease you are having, some disease or not, what is the condition of your family member. So this kind of offline data they can calculate, they actually collect. After collecting this offline data, they again save it to the digitally. That's also a data collection method. Again, if you go to internet today, you will see many surveys are there. So if you go to any website, they will ask you what is the experience you are having the survey. If you are actually opted in for online courses, after completing the courses, they will ask you something about the courses. Those are surveys, and those are also a way of killing the data. Okay, there are other way. Okay, you can there are many websites actually give you some offers. Okay, they are telling me fill up this form and I'll give you this offer. This is also a way of collecting the data. It's also called an incentivized way. That means you are giving some incentive to someone, and in return you are actually getting his data. Not only some data which are in from manner, there are many other kind of data. You see that in traffic you have cameras, they are also capturing your video. That is also a data. Some of the website or some of the mobile application by default capture your voice. That is also a data. Some of the shops, if you go to the shop, they will actually ask you for the mobile number. Suppose you are going to a restaurant, they are asking you, give me your mobile number, we will register it. If you are going to a shopping mall, they are actually asking for your mobile number and the details. They are the one also collecting your data. So there are various part of the various techniques actually available to collect the data. So now after you collect this amount of data, you definitely need to store it somewhere. You cannot just store it in your text file or anywhere in your computer, right? So if there is a data is a important thing. There are multiple types of data. So definitely there should be a mechanism to store the data. Okay. The software and the application which actually stores the data, that's called database application. So this is your database. Okay. Now, as I told, there are two kind of data, structured and unstructured data. So structured data can be stored as a SQL. Unstructured data can be stored as a NoSQL or SQL both. So that's how you store the data. Now, what is SQL? What is NoSQL? We'll talk about that in later videos if needed, but I'll also tell you what you exactly need to learn. That it doesn't mean that whatever the things I am telling you in this video, all thing you need to learn to be a data scientist, all thing you need to learn to be a data analytics. No. So I'll also guide you what is your interest and what you want to learn if you want to be something or you want to go do a certain level of job. Okay. So now the text data and all the things are saved in the database, and definitely there are unstructured data. I told you there are files are there. So you need to save the files also. So definitely we've saved the files currently in a cloud storage. So now this cloud storage can be your Google Drive. All of you are actually familiar with Google Drive. You are saving your images, saving your personal data, saving your personal files into the Google Drive. That is there. Microsoft also have a SharePoint, that is there. There are many other cloud storage are available in the market that will help you to store the data or the unstructured data. And what is unstructured data? Any kind of file. It can be image, it can be a document, it can be a PDF, anything. So until now, you are collecting the data. Your data has been collected. You are storing the data. You know, these are the data I have collected and these are the data I have stored. Once you have the data, then the work of data science comes into the picture. Until now, whatever the things we discussed, like data to data collection to data storing, all of them are basically a pre-work. Okay, and it is not done by your data scientist or data professionals. There are multiple way of collecting data and involve multiple types of developers, multiple types of software professionals. Okay, so now after we collect the data, you have the data, then the data professionals work has been started. Now what is the first work we need to do? The data what we store is not a clean data, because if I scrap, I don't know what actually coming. Somebody is filling up the form, they can fill some wrong information. Somebody is actually taking the offline information, that also can be wrong. Traffic camera so just capturing your images, that can be blurry. You are capturing some user voice, that can be having multiple noises. So data are not clean. So first thing we need to do is to clean the data. There are two things we do, two crucial things we do. We actually do many things, but the most two crucial things we do: clean up the junk thing, that what is the unnecessary things in the data, that we cleaned it up, and we also delete or also do something for the missing data. Suppose I have collected 5 email address. I am supposed to have 5 email address that my database is telling. But when I go to the data, I saw no, there are no 5 email address, there is only 4 email address. One is a missing. Maybe the name of the user is there, but the email address is not there. Somebody have not given it and my data has been captured that way. So we need to handle that one. There are multiple way to handle. One of the way to just remove that data has, because that data, that particular data is having a missing point. So depending on my architecture, depending on my way of doing things, I can do anything. Now definitely how we do this, currently most famous way to do the data cleaning is using the Python. Okay, now the data cleaning is a part of one bigger picture that is called data mining. Now what is data mining? Data mining is the first phase of your data. It's not a fast phase, it's actually will be an overall, it will be with you in overall life cycle, but data mining is the most important thing. Mostly mining is most important thing. Some of the actually terminology has been taken from my our real life example. Suppose for an example, you are actually working with coal. So what first thing you need to do? You need to mine the coal, right? And in the mining, after mining, you need to clean up the coal. Like you cannot use the raw coal. After that, you do some processing. After that, you can do some other kind of thing. Then only you can launch the coal into the market. So data mining like same thing, but it is for the data. So first thing is, once the data is there, that means my data is there, I need to mine it. That means from the trillions of data, I need to get the clean data. So first thing is to clean up the data. So using Python, we do the cleanup. There are many other ways. Somebody you can do it using the Excel also, but yeah, mostly we'll be doing the Python. And in my in my next videos, I'll be teaching you how to clean data for Python. Now here another thing, whenever I go to the data science related thing, whatever I saw, that everyone is thinking, okay, I need to learn Python. Now Python is basically a very big language, and it's having a multiple aspect, multiple way or multiple channel it has. It's not that you need to learn each and everything in Python to be a data professional. So in this video, in my next videos also, I'll tell you what are the part of the Python you need to be expert on. Yeah, of course, if you are expert on Python in a whole, that's an added advantage. But most of the cases, Python used in a many other places also, those you don't need to know. There are specific part of Python which is needed for data professionals. So I'll be telling you a high level picture today, that where are we using the Python, and when we gradually go to those part one by one, we'll definitely tell you how to use it. So first of all, this is data cleaning has been done by Python. After you clean the data, you need to pre-process the data. That means all the data after cleaning also it's not usable. Suppose you have some images. So there are multiple techniques to pre-process the data. I'll not go into the in details right now, because there are multiple things, multiple prerequisites you need to learn before you pre-process the data. And data means you can pre-process data, video, image, text. One of the most famous thing is called vectorization. So these all are actually a part of pre-processed data. Now theoretically you clean the data and pre-process it, but when you work practically, this can be a two-way process. Like pre-process and cleaning can happen at the same time. It's a practical work, I'm just telling. Okay, after you clean the data, after you pre-process the data, now you have something to work with. Okay, now data mining part is cleaning the data, pre-process the data for now. After you do these things, then you come with the analysis. So now you have a data which is not any meaning. So you need to give a meaning to a data. Now how the analysis work? Analysis is basically a statistical analysis. So now here you need the statistics. Now I don't recommend everyone to learn statistics in depth, because there are posts in that market that specifically for analysts, and that is not a data professionals work. Yeah, of course they are also from data professionals only, but it is not hyped due to your data. So it was there from a longer time. Okay, previously also people used to be a masters on stats, people used to do doctorate on stats, and after that they used to do the statistical analysis. Now each and every financial company have the statistical analyst. So nowadays this is actually automated. Previously they used to do the statistical analysis in Excel. After that R comes into the picture. After that nowadays we are using Python, And there are multiple tools. There are SPSS, there are Weka, there are multiple tools for doing a data analysis. Now, as a data professional, there is a specific post which called data analyst. So they only concentrate on this particular part. Now, if you are having interest in finding the hidden pattern in data, finding more meaning in the data, then only you will be going with the statistical analysis and data analyst. Okay, and for everyone it's not needed to learn in depth. I'm not telling it's not need to learn, but yes, in depth you don't need to learn. I'll tell you what happens in this case. Now, if you see that trends on in the job portal, now you will see, if you go ahead and see the job description, you'll see multiple things are written. Don't worry about that, because most of the cases HRs are also new to these things. Okay, so they also don't know that what they need actually. So they just, whatever the data related terms they find, they actually do that there. But there should be a different post for who is for data analyst and for machine learning experts. Okay, we'll go with that one by one. So this part is data analyst. It can be done by R, it can be done by Python, it can be done by Weka, it can be done by SPSS. Okay, it also have a fancy name that's called exploratory data analysis. Okay, that also we do. Why you use Python? Using Python is very easy to draw the graphs and chart, which will actually give more meaning to the data. And you can do the pretty much data analysis using the Power BI also. So that's also a way of doing things. In my next courses, I'll be showing you how to use Python. We'll mostly concentrate on Python and do some data analysis. I'll show you how does this work, but we'll not go in depth on that. Okay. Now, after this, the most interesting thing comes into the picture. Once the analyst analyzed the data and told you that, okay, this is the data, this is the relation between the data, and this is the thing, this is the meaning of the data. Now you have a meaning of the data. Now you have a relation of the data. Like, you know that what is this data telling you, what is the story of the data. Now using these, you will come into something called, you must be hearing this word or this term more frequently, that is called machine learning. Okay, and it is also a part of your data mining only. Now, learning means you can, after whatever the things you learn from this data, using these, you will be using the mini learning technique to explain that information and explain or train the system what you have learned on this. So there are supervised, there are unsupervised, there are reinforcement. There are three kind of learning. Depending on, there are different algorithms also available. We'll discuss about each and every algorithm in details, and I also show you how to implement this algorithm using Python and what is the benefit of implementing these algorithms, what we have, what we'll do with this. Basically, after doing the machine learning, computer or system can predict the output. Now, what is the practical example? Suppose I have taken many credit card data from someone, from a bank. Okay, and bank also know that these are the person and this is their credit score and these are their income structure and blah blah blah, many other data, and depending on that, bank is telling whether or not this person will be a credit card defaulter. Bank has the data. Previously there are many person who has come to bank and become a defaulter. Now next time, bank don't want to do this mistake, because a credit card defaulter is a loss for bank. So what will do? Bank will do this, collect this data, do some cleaning and pre-processing, use some analysis to understand which factors are actually important. After that, using this analysis, they will be doing a machine, or they'll be creating a machine learning algorithm. Okay, and that machine learning will create something that called model. Okay, machine learning always creates a trained model. Now, how do they create? That's a in-depth thing that we need to learn, but yes, we will be creating like that. Okay, after that, that model will basically tell me whether a person will be a credit card defaulter or not. That means next time someone is applying for a credit card, I'll give that information to the model. Model will tell me, okay, based on this person's information, credit score, some different factor, this person whether will be a defaulter or not. So this is the easiest or the most simplest example in the available. Bank actually do that currently. So there are many other cases you can predict. Let's say you can predict some weather effect, some flood will come or not for this particular area. You will have the geographical information and all things for the particular area, and based on that you can create a model and can predict that, okay, due to this situation in the weather, whether a flood will happen or not. And if you know that, you will definitely actually able to save lives. So this is actually called learning algorithm. There are many learning available in the market, and using this learning will do many other things. Okay, so that's a part of your machine learning algorithm. It is also called the predictive analytics. There is a fancy name for that. It's called predictive analytics. Okay, but in background it is machine learning only. Now the machine learning, data mining, all data analysis, data collection, all as a whole called data science. Basically, studying related to data is called data science. That's how the data science comes into the picture. So now you know what is data science, you know what is data analytics, you know what is predictive analytics, you know what is machine learning, you know what is exploratory data learning or data analytics analysis. Okay, these all are, you know. And the last thing, what is AI? I have not talked about the artificial intelligence in this video more. What is AI? AI is basically when using this all understanding, when you create a system, okay, when you create a software, we create an application. Suppose for this credit card analysis, what I told, using this all concept, you created an application that is basically telling you that yes or no. So this application will call the AI application. AI, the name artificial intelligence looks very fancy, but in background it is doing these things, and mostly it's rely on the statistical analysis. The more accurate your statistic analysis is, the more good your AI software is. So they are in the market, all the AI software currently actually learn something using the machine learning. After that they predict. So that is all the terminology I have explained in this video. From the next time onward, we'll go step by step and learn what are the things we need to learn to be a data scientist, what are the things we need to learn to be an AI expert, or what are the things we need to learn to be a data analyst. Okay, so there are multiple things are there, and we'll do one by one. Thanks for watching. That is all for today. From next video, we'll be starting actual theoretical and the practical things. Remember, I'll always give a practical example, and I'll also do what happening in the industry when I'm teaching you. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe and like and share the video if you like it. Thank you.